Hey guys, it's your boy Wolf and it's Caroline here, and we're doing nematodes. Nemo what? Nematodes.
Nematodes are microscopic worms that survive by either consuming bacteria or decomposing dead organisms, and they're found all over the planet, everywhere in saltwater, fresh water, the soil, or even inside animals. And they play a huge role in the decomposition of organisms. So, without nematodes, our soil would be full of dead organisms just lying there.
Right. And here's a few things about nematodes. I mean, one, the scientific name is Nematoda, and the kingdom is part of is the Animalia, and the rank is phylum, and the clade is Nematodia, and the phylum is Nematoda. And here's a video about some nematodes found in the person. It's kind of gross, so be aware.
Yeah.
Brittany McWilliams thought she just had the flu until she began coughing up live worms. Desperate to know what's wrong, Brittany goes to her primary care physician.
The doctor left the room for a few minutes, and then she came back with a book and said, "I think I know what you have." She said that what I had was a worm called Ascaris.
Ascaris is a roundworm that infests the human digestive tract. When eggs are swallowed, they hatch into microscopic larvae that make their way from the small intestine into the bloodstream. There, they are carried to the lungs, where they climb up the host's airways and are swallowed back into the intestines. Here, they reach maturity and breed. Usually, adult worms stay in the digestive tract, where they can live undetected for years. But in Brittany's case, it's likely her fever made her body too hot for the worms. In this inhospitable environment, these Ascaris worms head for the nearest exit, crawling up her esophagus and into her airways, triggering her cough.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
And again, like before I said, the part of the phylum is part of is the Nematoda, and also another name for a nematode is a roundworm. And some characteristics of a nematode is like the main thing is one is bilateral, so like the symmetry is the same on each side, and also it pretty much these things can be found pretty much anywhere. So yeah, gonna move it. Yeah, and they feed on just like anything also. So.
General information about nematodes or roundworms. Nematodes are considered the most numerous animal on Earth with about 80,000 species or more. They live in soil, like said before, or basically any environment on the planet, and they are the larger parasitic nematodes are called roundworms, and the smaller are threadworms.
And here are the species of nematodes. I'm not gonna go try to say all these names because they're really complicated, but the one in the white one, as you can see, the Coromodora, that's like the main one found in like a lot of things. They find them in the ocean, also in soil. And the one on the first one is the one that was found in the video we showed previously in the slide.
So nematodes feed on 4 different things, and they're categorized by what they feed on. They can either be bacterial feeders, fungal feeders, predatory nematodes, or omnivores, which either eat plants or other organisms or each other. Respiration of nematodes. Nematodes do not breathe like other vertebrates do. Instead, roundworms obtain their oxygen that their bodies need through diffusion, the process of gas exchange through worms, and
also, flatworms and earthworms also do this process.
the circulation and movement. Nematodes also don't have a bloodstream or a respiratory system or cilia, and they basically move because of their hydraulic skeleton, which is the skeleton made out of water, not like our own. They use also muscle contraction as a main way of movement, which creates their flexible skeleton, which allows them to move in the S shape like the image.
Also in excretion, when they excrete, it comes out through a pore, kind of like us. But normally it's just salt. And as you can see in the diagram below, the yellow hole, that's where it's the digestive tract, and also it's the pore that they release the salt.
So response, nematodes are known to have a taxis, which is basically the movement towards or away from a stimuli. So they are known to have the stimuli of plant roots. So basically nematodes are known to move towards plant roots that excrete a certain gas, which is unknown, but carbon dioxide is expected to have high concentrations that might possibly do this. So their response to the environment is through roots. And there's an example of a hookworm.
Also, and this is the nervous system, but on the left you can see that there is a picture of a SpongeBob episode, and it's like where actually these little like worm type things are nematodes, and they're eating the boat, I guess. But that's normally not what happens. Just a cartoon. That's pretty cool though. Nematodes.
So the nervous system of nematodes consists mainly of two different parts in the species of filament worms, which is basically the involuntary nervous system and the voluntary nervous system. And the nervous system of nematodes has two main ganglia and smaller lateral nerve cords that branch off from the main nerve cord.
All right, this is pretty much the reproduction. And like for the male have the testes are a tubular structure that are lined with epithelia and glandular tissue with sperm that's inside, sperm is produced. And the females have a genital pore through this where like the sperm can get through. So pretty much as in the diagram to the left, it's kind of like the worm, and then other worm, like this is like the female, this is the male wrapping it around, and then the sperm comes out and goes into the pore. So yeah.
The structure and anatomy of nematodes. Nematodes are cylindrical and elongated and smooth, and the body contains a rough cuticle, and this cuticle is what allows nematodes to basically move the way they do because it is a hydraulic cuticle, and the presence of the cuticle is similar to that in an arthropod but different because it does not contain chitin.
Also, the anatomy is similar to earthworms and flatworms also.
So the most common adaptation that nematodes contain that scientists have recognized is its ability to be drawn to plants, as well as contain cell wall modified enzymes, proteins that can localize near plant cell nucleus and mimics plant molecules. And the life stages of nematodes consist of four main stages, like a lot of other insects. Well, not insects, but nematodes, worms. It's the egg stage, 4 larva or juvenile stages, and an adult stage. And yeah.
And also right here is a cladogram of the animal kingdom. So you have all these right here. Ours is right here. And it's pretty closely related to the Platyrma. I don't know how to say it, but yeah. And as you can see, like these are a few traits that they have with other organisms. Oh, and this is the one of just the nematodes we have. There's so many like various like subgroups we have, and this is all of them.
So the interesting worms. There's
fun facts.
There's philia worms, which is the worms that lead to the elephantitis in humans, which causes the body's lymph tubes and glands to increase or swell. So that fun roundworm causes that. And the loa loa, which is this worm in the human eye, is also
in someone's eye.
Yeah, so it's also called the eye worm. So it's basically a parasitic nematode that infects the eyes and can cause death in people. And then what the hands are holding is giant roundworms, which are known. Oh, I don't have a paragraph. Oh, yeah, I did. It's the giant. There we go. Can grow up to 3 feet long as it lives in human intestines. And it basically, when it does live in human intestines, it takes away its nutrients and kills the host as well.
Like a parasite, pretty much. And thanks, guys, for
Thanks
watching.
for watching.
And this is a film by Wolf Productions. Caroline
Yeah,
is here
Caroline.
featuring. Thanks, guys.
Airways, triggering her cough.
My biggest fear was that I was going to keep coughing up worms.
In extreme cases, ascaris worms can cause secondary.
They move in an S shape, which is shown in the diagram to the left. Right, an S shape, and they have they don't have a bony skeleton.